Good morning, my beautiful boss women. I hope you had a soulful weekend and you rested and recharged for the week ahead. I just wanted to do this little video on do you really know what it takes to change? And this is something that I for myself have really learned in the last 3 years. You know, being a boss woman, I'm very independent, like to do things on my own. I've got this shit, I can do it attitude. And whilst for the most part that exists in my day-to-day life, there are some times where there are challenges, where life happens, when the unexpected happens, when the uncertainty happens, when we lose our mojo, when our motivation drops, or when we just not feeling it, right? Or when we have a mishap and we slip backwards. These things happen, right? You're human, and that's just part of life. It's part of the roller coaster, yeah? And I had a conversation with someone earlier this morning which prompted me to want to do this video. When you are changing, whether it be you want to lose 50 kilos, a weight loss, whether you want to change your career, whether you want to, find a beautiful, deep, intimate and connected relationship, we are the way that we are up until now, because running our current current patterns of behavior, our current patterns of thoughts, your reality and everything that's happening around you right now, or where you're at, is a direct result of your creation. And we actually don't realize how much power we have in order to be able to change our reality until we start to create deeper levels of self-awareness. And we can look at where we've come from, we can look at what we've been doing, we can look at how we've currently been living, or how we're living in the moment right now. And for some people, and in my experience, it's for a very minute amount of people, we can make a decision and we change. Morning, Tina. We can make a decision and we can change just like that, right? More often than not, it's when we are not attached to the outcome, right? So when we're not attached to the outcome, it's quite easy to make a decision, just roll with it, see how it plans out, see what happens. The thing is, when we attach ourselves to the outcome, right? So when we put the pressure on us to desperately want to achieve this thing, or we so badly want it, when we attach ourselves to the outcome, along comes with that an enormous amount of pressure that we put on ourselves to achieve it. And the thing is, when you want to change these patterns of thoughts or patterns of behaviors that literally have been ingrained in you up until now, so you operate a certain way up until you become aware of it, and then you make a choice to change it, right? And changing those patterns of thoughts or changing those patterns of behaviors aren't necessarily the easiest things in the world to do, right? Because it's your safety zone. It's where you feel comfortable. It's what you always know. There's evidence that you're going to be okay, right? You have all of that to back up why doing it the way you've always done it is the way to do it. So when you decide to change that up, what happens, or what needs to happen, is there needs to be a shift, not only into your mental state or your mental energy. There needs to be a shift in your physiology. There needs to be a shift spiritually. There might need to be some shifts in your beliefs. There might need to be some shifts in your values, right? So we can change one thing, right? The thing is, the bigger the ante, the bigger you want to build your foundations or lay your foundations, get your pillars up, your support network pillars, get your guidance, right? Because there are things that are going to pop up for you, right? We have fears around certain things. We have energetic blockages, emotional blockages around things. And, you know, over all my time of working with women, right, for the first half of my career, I've always focused on food, like nutrition and body. Cool? Some people get it, some people don't. And then it's interesting, some people get results and some people don't. So why are the people who change up their food and they change up their body not getting results? Because it goes levels deeper than that. Yeah, we are wired a certain way. And generally, you know, for the most part of us, we're wired the way we've been wired since we were children. Unless you choose as an adult to work on that, you know, work through that, develop yourself and grow from that to be able to layer it with a new set of beliefs or a new set of values or a new mindset. When people go back and forth or like back and forth with their results, or, you know, they lose a bit of weight, or they put the weight back on, or, you know, they get on a really good whim for a while and then they fall off that whim, it's because we revert to our old patterns. And if you're wanting to change your internal makeup, the way you operate, if you want to change your ways, if you want to change your life, it requires more than just a decision. There needs to be an entire shift to support you in doing so. Right? It's about up-leveling to the next level, and it's about learning the lessons that you need to learn in your current realm in order for you to be able to emerge out of that realm and move into your next realm. You know, and my own self-development over the last 3 years, like, there are so many beliefs that I've had to look at and break down and create new ones. There's so many patterns of behaviors or thoughts, and there's been so much what am I trying to say? I've created so much of a level of self-awareness. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. There is so much self-awareness in me now that I can tell when these things start to bubble up or trigger me, or they start to get in my way. This comes from learning and understanding you. Right? The more you understand yourself, the more you learn from yourself, the more you can work with yourself instead of against yourself. And, you know, if it's a long-term goal, or if it's a long-term change that you're wanting to make, like a really big change, you got to start to look at more than just, especially if it's body, you got to look at more than just your training and your food. Like, seriously, come on now. You should know by now, if you've been listening to my videos, Morning Crystal, if you've been listening to my videos, if you've been watching me, if you've seen my own personal growth over all this time, you know that it's more than just training and your food. Right? Because if it was training and food and you had a transformation, wouldn't you be able to keep it lifelong? Right? Wouldn't it be easy? Wouldn't you get it pretty quick? You know, if it was really just that. But we know it's not. You know it's not. I know it's not. You know, even with food, and, you know, I've spoken to a lot of people lately, they keep telling me they're an emotional eater. Hey, Sandy. Oh, I didn't realize there was a bunch of kids behind me. Whoops. I just lost my train of thought. So, when I've been speaking to people lately who keep saying that they're emotional eaters. Even that in itself, those words, I am an emotional eater. First up, I am is a statement which you're embodying. And secondly, emotional eater. Eating your emotions, right? The eating is tied directly to your emotions. That in itself says to me that you have a blockage or you have something going on within you that is stirring up your emotions, and instead of actually stepping into them, you are stepping away from them and you are pushing them out, you are suppressing them, right? And so you eat to suppress those emotions. Being an emotional eater, yes, you know, eating ice cream when you're sad, or I don't know, like having some chocolate if you feel like something sweet, cool, right? There are some times in life where you're just sad and you want to have ice cream. The difference is whether you own it or not, and whether you actually have the level of awareness to know whether you are eating your emotions or whether you're just having some ice cream because you want some ice cream and you're having a sad moment, right? There is a differentiation between the two. The only way you can decipher between the two of them is if you actually have a level of self-awareness to understand it. Whereas most people do not have that kind of level of self-awareness to be able to do that. Therefore, they feel like they are out of control with their food. Not out of control with your food, you're out of control with your emotions. Right? You can't control your emotions, so you eat them. You can't control what's going on around you, so you eat to make yourself feel better. Food, like issues with food, like cravings, like struggles with food, it has to do with you as a human and how you're operating in the world. It does not have to do with the fact that you have a food problem. It's not the food problem. It's you that's the problem, right? And if you spend the time to understand you, to work on you, to develop you, to grow you, to explore what's actually really going on, you will find that these food issues or your emotional eating is going to dissipate and you aren't going to have those issues anymore. Now, the thing is, when you're creating a level of self-awareness, it is also just not a thing where you go, oh, yep, got an awareness, cool. You are forever learning, forever growing. You can always learn something about yourself. You can always, every fuck up or failure or everything that, doesn't work out or goes wrong, or you can learn from that. You can learn dramatically from that to be able to build on yourself for the next day. Working on you is not an overnight project. It is a daily project. It is something you commit to on a day-to-day basis. Every day, discipline, right? I'm just going to move. These kids are getting a bit loud and they are frustrating me and they're interrupting my message. And on that note, I am going to sum up this video, right? This message. Without you, you have nothing. Without your health, what kind of life do you have? Without joy or pleasure, what happiness will you experience in your life? It's just some questions for you to think about, because we all think that we're all going to live tomorrow, and we all think that, it'll happen one day. The thing is that one day, it's going to be one day too late, or you're not going to be here. We have one life. And, start realizing this. Start understanding this. Start realizing that you are the centerpiece to your entire life. Literally, your entire life. And if you are unhappy and you don't like where you are right now, know that you can change it. And if you don't know how to change it, go and get some guidance or some support or somebody to help you. Right? Stop wasting time. Stop procrastinating. Stop denying yourself of everything that it is that you want. Just stop it. Life's too short. Embrace it. utilize it, own it, grab it by the lady balls and go get it. All right, bye.